what are some standout areas that you're generally going into for the oil and gas? Can you sort of paint a picture of where the sensors set up in those systems?
Sure. We have a sector of products, radiometric or nuclear-based measurement, and that one's been really key for us in Alberta. And we've been able to do density measurements on tailings lines, and also look for phase separation in treaters. And the other thing that we have is on the level side is a radiometric that, again, at really high temperatures, or like things like reactors and things like that, we can do a measurement that's external to the vessel, so there's no contact with the process. So in Alberta, typically we're quite well known for the radiometric, and you'll find those on treaters and separators and those types of things.
When you shift over, I want to get into a moment. I want to get into some of the technology, but sort of to lead up to that, what I saw on the website, pharmaceutical is one of the streams, and of course that caught my eye, considering it is
Sure.
2021. We're doing the interview. Um,
Yeah.
so is do the sensors shift when you get into that sort of that pharmaceutical streams, or is it just a different way of facilitating? Does it change from industry to industry, or is the sensor and then how they use it varies?
Yeah, the technology is essentially the same. So the measurement challenges across all the industries and level are quite similar. You've got frothing, you've got agitation, you've got small vessels. So whether it's an oil and gas facility in northern Alberta, or a pharma facility here in the GTA, very different processes. But from the physics standpoint, trying to make that measurement is very similar. What we what we wind up seeing is the difference in certifications or what they require. So obviously, in the pharma industry, polished steel and having all your hygienic certifications is very important. And in the oil and gas industry, of course, it needs to be robust and rugged. So the technology is the same across the board, but the features and options on each of the instruments are kind of tailored to be fit for purpose for that industry.
Right. Going into the technology, is it how much does it evolve? Like even going right down to the size of the sensor, the shape of them, and their does it has it over 20 years, has it drastically changed? Over 5 years, has it drastically changed? What do you see? What, of course, you're getting the product. You're not there on the R&D side and the manufacturing and everything like that. But what do you see from even a technical standpoint of how they evolve?
Um, Really, the evolution is just it's continually trying to take something that's complex and make it more simple. So in the beginning, radars were very power hungry, very large, very expensive. Vega managed, we were the first to come out with the two-wire free space radar. So that was a big development quite some time ago. More recently, the introduction of 80 gigahertz, the operating frequency of the free space radar, is something that I would say has been the next step change in the technology. I think prior to that was sort of a little additional features and benefits that were programmed into the instrument, but the that 80 gigahertz was a real step change and has enabled these instruments to almost be plug and play because of the robustness of the signal that we're able to get.
I saw a video. You have these Vega has these neat videos. They're in German, but then they do the English over top of it. Which more companies should do that. If you're watching this show, get get your videos translated so people in other languages can take in the information. It's such a simple thing because they did these really nice videos, then they just had the English over top, so I actually knew what was going on. And these and there was a lot of this like dirt buildup and things like that, which is obviously a major issue, especially when you get into mining and oil and gas. Maybe mining more so than anything. Wastewater, that would be a major factor. So could you explain a little bit about how they're countering that, or how the technology isn't affected by I mean, everything's down to cobwebs on some of the older sensors can affect it.
Sure. If you think about taking a level measurement and you have an instrument that's emitting a microwave, and it's a transfer of energy out that's looking for a change in dielectric that reflects some of that energy back. So we know it's going out at the speed of light. Divide that by half. That's your distance from the horn, and you infer the level from that.
Mm.
Anything that can interrupt that signal going out and back is going to have an effect on your measurement. So, like you said, things is like cobwebs or dirt or buildup. So, what the 80 gigahertz has allowed us to do is we have a much larger return signal to work with than we'd had in the past. So, yes, we're still seeing that buildup where we are seeing those obstructions, but we've got more signal to work with, so we can accurately lock on the actual level and stay with it instead of losing it in the noise. We have also another feature that's kind of going on in the instrument at the same time because the years of history and experience that we have all goes into that instrument. So how the instrument deals with the signal is the people behind it. Because when you go in and you set up an instrument and you select all the options, it's not just for fun. You're actually changing how the instrument thinks or how the instrument processes the signal. So, for instance, buildup. It's not mistakenly people sometimes think, well, it's 80 gigahertz. You're just shooting through that material that's built up. You're not. You're seeing it there. You now have enough energy to get through it and back,
Uh,
which lets you get a signal. But the instrument now is smart enough to know that, hey, this thing is sitting right on my face. It's not moving. It's not doing anything. That is not level. That's buildup. So it doesn't process it as a level signal. It keeps
right.
going out and looking for the level. And we call that a sensitivity time constant that we use.